All right, fellas. I had the distinct pleasure and opportunity to experience Pinehurst in North Carolina.
Lucky dog.
Oh my goodness. I more than once. I don't know like the exact definition of imposter syndrome. Dave, you might know it off the top of your head. I don't. I just have the general idea that you're somewhere where you're not supposed to be, but you're there. And that's exactly what it was. So we had the opportunity. Work trip is what it technically was, and we drove the 10 hours down to Pinehurst, North Carolina, the village of Pinehurst. It's a village, and for those that don't know, on the program that listen, Pinehurst is like the field of dreams of golf. I don't know. Well, Field of Dreams is probably not right, but it is. They call it the home of American golf. A lot of people know Pinehurst #2 for its fame, hosts U.S. Open, Ryder Cup, all that stuff. But Pinehurst is a golf resort that has 11 18-hole courses and a
Ain't
short
that wild
course
to think about?
and a short course.
Explain that.
So the short course, they down there at Pinehurst, they call it the Cradle. The resort has one. It's called Sand Creek, and Pinehurst didn't have any holes over it's like 100 yards and less, and so it's meant to be for
How many holes is that?
9. It's
Yeah.
9 at the resort. The Cradle was 9. We played it back to back for 18, but it's meant to be kind of a fun practice.
Short game.
Short game.
Wedges, putters.
Yeah, kind of a money game too. Guys probably wager a little bit on that and, bet each other. A lot of folks will remember Ruxer when they had
yeah.
Theirs was a par 3.
Tea time down in Evansville.
A little bit longer. They used to be called like executive courses too, where they're a little bit shorter. You could play them in a quicker amount of time.
Little businessman special.
Yeah. So Pinehurst is in North Carolina, kind of the east central North Carolina, Greensboro area south of there. But we got to go for work. They just built new cottages, and these cottages, when I say that, like, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be in there. Like, it was very hard for me to be in there, especially when I discovered the shower was a Kohler shower. And it had, it was like a pizza pan, a round pizza pan size, like overhead shower.
Oh yeah,
and then it had one from the face, and then it had one that had like the little handle thing. And I probably took a 25-minute just standing there after the first day we played, just embraced and like being like the bucket at Holiday World that dumps at Splash and Safari. That's what it felt like. Don't know what the water bill was on it, but I didn't care. Wasn't paying for that.
Yeah.
But we go, and it was the journey down there. I drove. The journey down there was interesting because similar to when I was coming back from Knoxville that time and I went through the freaking hills of Tennessee, we did the same thing going down this time. Didn't stay on the interstate. Got to drive through Hazard, Kentucky. And we were in the Appalachia, which is very interesting. But every road was like you'd climb a mountain, dive right, dive left, down there. You go, there's the creek, drive back up through there. Like for hours, it seemed like. Miserable drive down. But we roll into this place, and they had just built these, like a $25 million project in total for these cottages. And there was 8 of them or so on number 8. So 1 through 5.
The number 8 course, not
number
the
8
number
course.
8 hole.
Yeah. So the numbers 1 through 5 are all one centralized clubhouse that people would recognize and realize, like, oh, that's Pinehurst. You walk in and it's just got the history. Like, it's a history. Like, if you're a student of history, like, this place has it. Because I think, like, it started, like, 1889 or something like that. And back then, the property was probably cheap. They buy it up. You're like, this is just Carolina pines and not great soil to do anything with. And so it was just amazing history lesson on it. But we played Pinehurst #1, which is a Donald Ross design, which is one of those that we have at the resort. Shot a 94, 95 there. Pretty happy about it. Putting wise, it would be like standing on your table here, Dave, and trying to putt, which was fun and interesting. So we played the Cradle twice, and then we played number one, and it was just a great day of like golf. And it was funny. You get up to the tee box, and I was like, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous about it because the imposter syndrome. I was like, I shouldn't be here playing golf. And the guy that I was riding with also works for the resort. It's like, I'm not going to hit driver on this hole. Like, I just want to put something out there in the fairway and when we can be off and running. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because I'm standing there with my driver. I was like, I was going to grip it and rip it. Like, we're here. Let's freaking play. The thing you realize is there's a road that is right along the right side of the fairway. And so I was standing up there and I was like, man, if I throw this big power cut out there, I'm going to.
I was going to say, you usually play a little bit of a cut. Yeah.
So I go grab the 5-wood and power cut the 5-wood under a pine tree, luckily, to get off and running. But it was a blast. So we played number one. And then they have we ate dinner in what they call the Carolina room, which was you had to wear your slacks, closed-toed shoes, like that kind of stuff. And it was a neat experience.
Had to leave the Birks in the room, huh?
I did. Big Birkenstock guy, by the way, now.
Yeah, I know. I like them, too.
I
haven't had a pair in a few years.
I've gotten over my self-consciousness of my toes.
Mm-hmm.
Just started rocking them.
Gotta let your dogs out.
Got them on right now. Like, I totally get why people like them. And so we play, we have dinner, and then the next day we played number 8, which is where we were staying at. Front 9, felt great. Shot a 48, 49. I was like, okay, like, hey, we'll get to this back and we'll make it work. And the backside, like 8-mile lunch, like reminded me, hey, you're a high handicap golfer and this course is going to bend you over. Not even ask like your name.
Blow your
just
back
let
out.
You have it. So we get around and it played at 6,300 yards.
God,
so
dang.
like when you like,
tell him how long that par 5 was.
Yeah. So 567-yard par 5. Like when you're standing at the tee box and I'm like, I'm going to get my rangefinder out just where I could see where the freaking yep, there it is. Way down there. Hey, yeah, see ya. Because 567 yards times 3 feet, you're looking at over 1,500 feet, which a mile is 5,267, 61, something like that. So you're looking at a huge, like over, not quite, almost a half a mile hole, right? No, a little short. Third of a mile hole, and you're like, that's insane. So we played at 6,300 feet, and one of the guys we were with was like, hey, there's no shame in us playing up tees. Like, we can go play the greens. Like, that's okay. Because they had what would be the forward tees. The greens were kind of what you would consider like your senior tees, and then your whites, and then they had like even further back.
The tips.
Where it was like, this is stupid. Like, we're not going to, So we played the whites, and they had a par 3 that was like 215. And you're like, this is insane. Like, this is
considering
stupid.
Like what's number 9 at Huntingburg?
Number 9 at Huntingburg, depending
like
on where the flag stick is at, could be anywhere from 160 to 175.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a starter?
We did have a starter at each course, and they were generally like retired gentlemen. Mm-hmm. So Pinehurst is where it's at. It's close to Fort Bragg, and then it's also has pretty good weather year round. So it's a very safe community. So we ate at a cool place called Pin and Quill or something like that, and it was like this kind of like dive bar feel, like great food. And I was talking to the bartender, and she was just kind of going over it, and she's like, really very safe, not a whole lot of crime. She said, like, you got to be on the lookout though, because there's a lot of retired special forces guys around here, and you'll be able to recognize them because they're jacked, tatted, and don't say a whole lot. But if you do something stupid, you're going to get your teeth stomped. And I was like, well, I'm not pump the brakes, lady. Like, we're not looking for a fight here. So a lot of your starters are like older people that and just want to talk to you. And you're like, hey, we got a tea time. Like, we got to go. Like, we can't be chatting this whole time. Because they do. I mean, they run I mean, the tee times, like it's just amazing
yeah.
for 11 courses. But it was a cool experience. If you ever get the opportunity, you're probably looking, if you take a group down there and do what we did, it's like $2,500 or so. But it was just a cool, unique experience because of the history. Like the Pinehurst logo is called the Little Putter Boy, and it came about in like 1912, 1913, like in that era. But it's just such a wild. You see it on TV, and you see how these guys play it, and you're just like, this is insane. And they still, they have caddies on number 2. It's cart path only. So there's no, like, those wheels are not going on to like anywhere on the fairway. So a lot of people walk it, but if somebody's carrying your sticks, you're basically just out for a walk. And it's fairly flat. Like it doesn't, I mean, there's some elevation change, but not crazy because it's flat area. But we had a blast. It was so cool. The drive down made it kind of interesting. We get there. One of the funny things, we were sitting there at dinner on the third night, and I walked outside to take a picture. And there was a group of people out there eating, and I just kind of was listening into their conversation. And the lady was like, "Oh, how was your trip to Italy?" And she's like, "It was great, but 2 weeks was kind of long." And I was like, "Yeah, I shouldn't be listening to this conversation because there's no way I'd go to Italy for 2 weeks." And then the other lady was like, "Oh, did you guys fly first class there?" And the lady was like, "No, we flew business class. It still had plenty of room for us, and it was good. It was good, but we saved a little money on that." And that lady, without missing a beat, goes, "Since I hurt my back, I only fly first class." And I was like, "Yep, I need to go inside because I have no reason." Yeah, I have no reason being there. And they do memberships, so you can be a member of Pinehurst, but they have like some restrictions, like you have to own or have property within like a 60-mile radius and all this other stuff. But it was like a golfer's heaven. The history side made it interesting for me. But it was just a great little work trip. And the cool thing, out front of our cottages, they had like fireplace, so it was nice. And I was kind of the only member of the delegation that bought a case of beer and sat out there and just drank and enjoy the weather, which usually is not like. Usually I'm with people that drink, like that golf group, like we have no problem drinking Mick Ultras, and I was kind of the only guy, but it was a blast. It was a good work trip.
How many people stay in the cottage?
So they have varying sizes. So our cottage had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then downstairs 5, 6 that had 2 queen size beds in each room. So you could have 12 people in the cottage. And they were working on one next to us. And this tells you like where the imposter syndrome rubbed off real fast, because I started talking to the construction workers like we were buddies. And it was probably the easiest people I talked to all weekend down there, like in between their drags of Marlboro Lights and drinking Mountain Dew. Like it was a great conversation. But they were just like, "Yeah, we've been here quite a bit." Like all the furnishings were like Ralph Lauren, Kohler bath products everywhere. Like we looked up the cost of the shower heads and shower, because it was like a push button knob turn deal. Like it wasn't like you just flipped the old lever and pulled the plug. And they were finishing up one that could hold 32 golfers, and their price on that for a week was like $54,000. But you divide that out over 32, you're like, "Oh, that's not too bad." And they do these packages where you stay, you get the golf, like it's built in. So every night you stay, you get a course to play. Number 2 is a premium, and then number 10 is also a premium. Number 11 is their latest one that they're finishing up. But you wouldn't expect, like in this area when you rolled in, there's 11 golf courses throughout there. But it was
on one property.
Well, they've bought up a lot of property. How they've done it, I don't know. Didn't really get a chance to talk to anybody that kind of had like, "Hey, how did you guys just start buying up all this acreage to put 11 golf courses?" But they, the town supports it for the most part. Like people are very friendly, and just a huge opportunity to go, and it was awesome.
Heck yeah.
And the drive back, when you come through West Virginia there, There's the tunnels underneath the mountains. We got through the first two, no problem. The third one had a car on fire in it, which is a little bit problematic. So we got stuck on a detour through, what was the town? Like Cabin Creek, West Virginia, on the Quaney River. And I was like, we were sitting there in traffic. I was like, I wonder if there's anything famous about this little burb we're coming through. And it actually was the birthplace of Jerry West, which Jerry West is the NBA logo and NBA guy. So it was kind of a neat little it added an hour onto our trip going around. But
It says Pinehurst Resort encompasses over 2,700 acres of land.
yeah,
A number that has recently grown with the addition of a 900-acre Pinehurst sand mine property, bringing the total to nearly 3,700 acres.
yeah. So that's number 11, is built on an old sand mine. And
It says the property includes golf courses, historic hotels, and other amenities.
they own like two inns, like little smaller, not as modernized hotels. So you can stay at the main hotel. They've got the two inns. They've got the cottages. And they're really trying to build that stay and play model that a lot of places have.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were there, we were lucky because we had great weather, because they're we're slow in May, June, July, because it's just freaking hot. And they have all Bermuda grass. Everything's Bermuda because they can do it. But we met the guy that was the former president of Pinehurst. He was an Indiana guy. He came from a couple courses up around Indianapolis, and he ended up down there. And he knew our director of golf. And he came out and met us on the first tee. And he was just chatting away. And the next group behind us rolled up. And we were like, we probably ought to go. And then the guy was like, well, we are with the former president of Pinehurst. I doubt anybody's going to say a word what we do. And I was like, oh, that's true. We're here on our own time, I guess.
A big deal.
Yeah. So it was cool. Wish I could have taken you guys.
Yeah.
It would have been a blast.
I don't know if I would have been able to play, but it would have been neat.
Yeah. Even for the high handicap status that I have, I was 104 at number 8. 94, 95 on number 1. And the guy, so they have these ambassadors that meet you when you're going to check into the cottage. And ours was on that second or third night. And he's like, oh, which ones you guys play? And we're like, number 1. He's like, yeah, it's a pretty good one to play, fairly open. It's a fun play. And then we're like, yeah, we played 8 today. And he just chuckled. He's like, yeah, you played a hard course. And we're like, yeah, we know. We're well aware of it. And that was so Donald Ross, which we have one up at the resort, he designed a lot of that down there. Tom Fazio designed number 8. Jack Nicklaus has one down there. Ben Crenshaw, Robert Trent Jones, who's done some stuff out of Alabama, and he kind of had been on some redesigns because they redesign them every 20 or 30 years. And I didn't understand the redesign process. And they're like, well, it could be doing bunkers, or it could be doing this, or those greens. The USGA sets a lot of those specifications for those courses. And they say those greens should be redone every 4 or 5 years. And I didn't realize it till seeing what we're building or what it is. But basically under your greens up there, it's built on just basically a slab of rock. It's just a bedrock foundation with drainage. And then they put, so much dirt and sand, and they've got it all down to a science to build those out. But
Or they could change the ungulation and all that stuff.
yeah, well, that would be a complete redesign on that, depending on how they wanted to build and do those things. But they, they know the golf business well. And you think about it, I was thinking Huntingburg Country Club. And we're like, one's a par 5. That's a long hole. And now I'm sitting here thinking after I've experienced almost 600 yards, I'm like, it's really not that long. It's not that long at all.
Right.
So it was a blast.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah.
Good scouting mission for future endeavors up there at the resort.
Yeah. And we, of course, everywhere I went, talk to people, say hi. We had a guy, he was a Jamaican waiter in the Carolina room. His name was Cleveland. And we joked is his first name really Grover and his middle name's Cleveland, and then go from there. And one of the guys was like, "Hey, do you have Coke products?" And the waiter, without missing a beat, was like, "We did, but he got busted 2 weeks ago." And like the guy that was with us was like, "What do you mean?" We're like, he's like, cocaine. He explained it, and he kind of got embarrassed about it, but it was like he was pretty quick with it. And I said, "How funny," because our breakfast waiter, his name was Anton, and he was Jamaican as well. And I said, "How funny would that be if they just rotate name tags, and like Cleveland shows up in our area that we had last night with the Anton name tag?" And no, it was great though. The guy making the omelet station, like he was a cool dude. He's like, "Man, most people just stand here and watch me make omelets. Like and I was like, dude, I got a Blackstone at home. I'm like studying your technique right now, how to make the right omelet and doing eggs. And you just meet a lot of interesting people when you stop to talk. And that's what I did. The lady, when I bought the case of beer at the grocery store, because they sell it cold there, which is very nice to have. She was a little bit out there.
Of course.
Yeah, she was a little bit out there, but it was a good trip. It was fun.
Good for you.
All the kids got Pinehurst golf polos. So when Janelle gets that credit card statement and she sees that I spent almost $500 at Pinehurst, yeah, that was for stuff for you guys.
Oh,
so
boy. Wow.
yeah, it was steep. Like I think at one polo shirt that Ryan's got that Rhett will probably wear someday was like $60. And I was like, God, you guys got anything cheaper around here?
Like ball markers or fucking pack of tees or something.
Well, I didn't realize. So that you bring up tees, but each course has their own tee design.
Yeah.
And it is a real thing when you go to Pinehurst to collect all the tees from all the courses. Because I got back, friend of the program, Kendall Stuckey, was like, "What'd you get all the tees?" And I was like, "Well, I grabbed a handful at number 1 and I grabbed a handful at number 8 later." And she goes, "Oh my God, you idiot. You go there to collect all the tees from the courses." And I was like, I didn't even know that was a freaking thing.
Yeah, when we went to that Gold Coast Golf Resort in Apache Junction, Arizona, they had 3 18-hole tracks there.
Yeah.
And we played the Sidewinder course, which was the more of the lower, more modest course.
Yeah.
But they were selling bag tags, for your golf bag.
Yeah, you could do that
It
there
had
too.
like a Sidewinder, which is like a little lizard-looking deal, but I didn't.
I thought a Sidewinder was a snake.
Yeah, maybe it is a snake.
Well,
Sidewinder.
and we had
You're right.
so they got a lot of the pine needles, and I know when I've played down at Florida,
Pine straw.
at Shark Tooth,
A lot of pine straw.
they will have signs that were like timber rattlers because it's
Rattlers.
It's a natural environment for them.
Yeah.
So like I'm trudging along just in them looking for a golf ball. And I go, "Do you think they have timber rattlers around here? Like, should we really be trouncing through the straw?" And the guy's like, "Well, I mean, if you get bit by a rattlesnake, it makes for a great story." I was like, "That's not what we're here for. Not what we're here for." But it was fun. I just wanted to share it with you guys because I was gone for a week. And,
Glad you had a good time.
Janelle, shout out to my wife.
I'm sure she was really supportive.
Oh, gosh. There was a call about Tuesday. And we, our youngest was obviously born into June. And there was a call on Tuesday where I was like, "Oh, fuck." Like,
when you come,
stressful day.
you come-
Like, I played golf and enjoyed this probably $10,000 shower. And, no worries. I slept through the night. Like, this is great. And, yeah, she's having a meltdown because, well, we got 4 kids at home under the age of 7. So, but it was good. If you get the opportunity to do it, plan that trip. But I tell you what, be ready to, because that was the cool thing. Like going into it, knowing we were going to play a lot of golf, you got to really love the game. Because like on number 8, there was multiple times where I'm like, we just like, especially on the backside.
pick it up. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we're going to take a quick pause. We'll be right back.